Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're currently here in the live premiere. I'm going to go through a portion of different scenarios today. First of all, talk about Dylan Rounds, the anniversary, what's going on there, Facebook post by Candice Cooley, go over all of that. You can also check the comments out of my last video. Then I'll be talking about my initial brief thoughts about the Jim Terry holding the footage to do with Dylan Rounds and all of that and what's coming up. I can also get into some explanations to do with YouTube screwing me over, and then also some gaming gameplay on the sideline. Whether it be from now till then or later on in the video, you can treat this like a chat room. If you do want to fight, fight. If you do want to have cat fights, you can. If you want to tear people left, right, then I guess you can do that too. If you want to complain, you can. If you want to mess about, yeah. Maybe not for the initial first part, just because it's to do with the anniversary of Dylan Rounds, okay? Just try and maintain a level of focus there so it's not harming it, okay? But then later on, I guess, you know, it can go ahead. Will that actually happen? I don't know. This video could be, in fact, very loose in terms of the coordination of it and the talking, but to be honest, at this moment in time, I've not got much to lose, at least with YouTube, because they've been screwing me over for the last week or two. What I can do briefly is just very quickly mention it, but then mention it again later on in this video, because I know not everyone will be watching right now. And I know for some people, it doesn't go into people's brains immediately. Might need to explain it again. So the short story is YouTube have limited my videos in recent time because they supposedly don't follow the YouTube guidelines. That because I've used profanity, swearing in some of my videos, they've been limited and restricted. Though majority of them have slowly been approved because I've appealed and I was successful, but that's not the point, right? It's the fact that it still happens. Every time I upload a video from now, it's restricted, limited. So then it means I've got to wait. It means time efficiency is out of the window. It means what do I do in between? Do I continue or do I wait? And then it means what gaps in between of when I would normally be doing stuff. You get what I'm saying? It completely disrupts the flow. And of course, not every appeal is guaranteed a success. A couple of my videos have been rejected because under human review, that means a real life human living on this earth from wherever, living wherever, manually watched my video, reviewed it, and determined based off their opinion that it did not meet the guidelines. And their reason for it, which seems to span across multiple videos of mine, is because there was profanity, swearing in the title or the thumbnail of my video. And for most part of it, I've not really ever used swearing in the thumbnail or the title, right? The Betty Hayward Storytime one, thumbnail, you could say there was one word there, right? The B word, to do with a female dog. I'm not even going to say the word because I'll probably get shut down just for saying that. Yes, that was in the thumbnail. So you could say profanity used in the thumbnail. But that's the thing. It wasn't a word in the thumbnail because I took out the letter I and replaced it with the number 1. So when you look at it visually, you know it's the B word. But when you read it out, you can't really read it because it's not an actual word. because one of the letters within the word has been replaced with a number. So it's no longer a word officially. You get that, right? But obviously YouTube don't seem to pick up on it. But for the other videos which had profanity, swearing in the title, the thumbnail, there wasn't any. So some of those employees out there have outright lied in their human review. Arguably, that's possibly a little bit dodgy, right? Not much I can do about it. There is some kind of thing where if you don't supposedly follow guidelines and it happens a couple of times, then YouTube become very judgmental and assume that the next video you upload will be not following guidelines. And you could actually be following the guidelines. You could even really try following the guidelines, being a good, pretty little boy and innocent, and YouTube would instantly judge and assume that you're not following guidelines, so they instantly restrict, limit your video. And that's what's happened to my videos, right? The last 2 weeks or so. Maybe that's why it's been quieter. I don't know. Maybe the awareness when I was talking about it feels like it's dropped. Could be because of this, which isn't my fault. Neither is it in my control. So, yeah. As I said, we can explain a bit more later on, but to be honest, the flow of this video, yeah, it could be better, but I really cannot be bothered, right? But what I can be bothered to do is to at least cover and acknowledge the anniversary of Dylan Rounds, considering it's been extremely quiet. Now, I don't know if it's because of time zone difference. It's Sunday at this moment in time of speaking and recording. Maybe for other people, a bit behind, but still very quiet. Now, I would say, although I do cover the Dylan Rounds case, although the actual anniversary was yesterday, the day 28th of May, 2022 back then when it all happened. Now 28th of May 2023, yesterday, anniversary. I didn't remember it on the spot, even though I was covering the case, because I just wasn't actively thinking, right? I don't always remember dates. I don't always remember the current month or whatever, because I don't know, it just happens, right? But you could also say that maybe I didn't think about it because it just wasn't talked about at all, right? I went online, I looked at articles, no articles at this moment in time. Went on YouTube, no videos whatsoever about Dylan Rounds, about the anniversary, nothing. It's 100% silent. It's the quietest it's ever been. It's the quietest anniversary I've ever seen. You get me? Doug's channel, quiet. I don't know about Lance Kelly. He's done the odd search video, but yeah. Weird. It's weird. I can understand it from the family point of view being quiet because they're just going through it, going through the motions, probably sad, of course, and just dealing with it. And then maybe once it's passed, then they can maybe continue on with whatever they were doing. At this moment in time, it's probably more of reflection, thinking about Dylan Rounds, sharing memories, and kind of like that. As we have heard, June the 10th is when some event is going on in Idaho Falls, some event to do with a cook-off, cooking, barbecue, Candice Cooley being there, money raised will go towards a canine unit which has been known to help the Dylan Rounds case, trying to find Dylan over the time. Some said it was also used in aid and clean, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, they have volunteered a lot, so just to help them out. I get that, I understand that. That's ahead. That's the next coming event. But what about right now? What's happening right now? Very quiet. We can go on the Find Dylan Round's Facebook page very shortly. We can look at the post there by Candice Cooley. There are photos of Dylan Rounds, but majority of them are of when he was younger, okay? I don't really want to be sharing them, only because the way YouTube is, especially right now, too risky. Too risky. You know, you think about the guidelines, you think about the policies, you know, you don't want certain ages of people included in a video. It's not, you know, because of YouTube, and just absolute disaster. You know, I'm trying not to swear, okay? I did actually go for a phase where I didn't really swear at all, and it got quite easy, but I think falling back into that cycle, so I get back out of it. I should be allowed to be honest, say this or say that. Am I censored? No. No. There'll always be ways of wording stuff, even if you have to use code. There'll always be a way around it, okay? But I just want to be very careful at this moment in time, okay? So I will share the post with you. That's another thing I want to point out. Times in the past when we've been on the maps, Google Earth, looking through the photos, sometimes there's a jump cut, sometimes it jumps ahead, or maybe it stops and moves on to another photo abruptly. The reason why is because within that slide of photos, when going through, the next photo was of people in the shot, and it was like, oh, I don't want to be, you know, including that because YouTube will probably complain, whatever. So I thought, just cut that out, throw that out. That's why when some people have said you should go to a museum, like on the maps, in a funny way, I can't, because the museums, the photos within it, the slides are literally of, you know, families and just people in the shot because it's a busy place. No, we're not doing that. When it comes to the ones I look at, for most part of it, it's easier, right? It'll be either of an animal, some food, just much older people. It's easier to handle, right? The only other risky, dodgy one was when we went to that club, which I didn't know what it was because it was an American one. Turned out the poles were all in sight, and so were the flexible moves by some of the dancers, and had to try and, you know, work around that. I think it worked, lucky, but you know. As well, regarding that YouTube profanity thing, one of the guidelines said, if you do swear within the first 7 seconds of the video, you get in trouble. 9 times out of 10, I don't swear in the first 7 seconds, yet they're accusing me that I have done. Well, that's a load of rubbish. Same with the title and the thumbnails. Do I ever really include words in those areas? No. For the most part of it, not at all, right? At one part, I thought there was a conspiracy that whenever I do a video about Jim Terry or another channel which may have been terminated by YouTube, that they would pick up on that and it's like a blacklisted word. I don't know, right? You got to think of every possibility, so then maybe you can eliminate the problem, right? The solution I thought of recently was just uploading just dozens of pointless, useless, random, family-friendly videos, slideshows, photos of plants and flowers. Sure, it might trigger Dale, but as far as everything else goes, YouTube, I can't go against guidelines when it comes to flowers. Pretty little flowers, delicate petals. Really? I don't think so. So, that's what I'm going to do in between. What I feel is if YouTube are very judgmental, that they assume every video I upload from now on goes against guidelines when I am following guidelines, then I need to counteract it and put supposedly more faith, more trust into YouTube, trust in me, right? Weird scenario. Very interesting. I might as well bring it up now before I forget, because I can always talk about it later. I did go into a live chat recently, 2 separate nights. First time round, wasn't really fixed. It was just a typical positivity of, oh, hope it gets better. It will improve maybe. Yeah, whatever. And then the videos that were appealed, most of them were successful and approved of, okay? Then the video last night was a mess. Wasn't able to attend majority of the live premiere because I was in a chat with some YouTube person, whoever, assistant. I was able to do some polls in the video, but just was busy, very important stuff. Was it resolved there? Seemed a bit more thorough, right? Started asking me some questions and I was like, I had to think on the spot, and luckily I was correct. Wow. But yeah, to be honest, how did it go in the end? Just said, send feedback, the typical line. Oh, should get better, or it might get better. No 100% certainty, which is very typical, right? But the funniest thing is, and it has been a common occurrence within the family when it comes to contacting experts, contacting people of higher authority who are in the position to hold more knowledge and wealth. Yet turns out we are the ones that know more than them, and they are the ones that say, oh, never thought about that. And I'm thinking, you never thought about that? Then how did you get where you are then? Joke. So last night I responded back saying, I've got one solution. I'm telling the expert who's supposed to be helping me that I have a solution. What a power change dynamic that is. And I just said, well, because of the whole judgment thing, I'll just do more videos in a positive way, little flower ones, see how that goes. And they were like, oh yeah, very good idea. And it's like, why did you not think of it? You're the expert. You're supposed to be helping me. All it seems to be is I'm helping myself. What a joke. What a joke. Okay. So might explain a bit more about that later, or just refer back to it, because I don't know if anyone is here right now. I don't know. At one point I thought the comments were silenced or something yesterday. Strange stuff is going on. Some people left, right and centre being kicked out of the chats. Weezer, which is unfortunate. Yeah, but I think she was able to get back in. If anyone does suggest Rumble, I have tested it. Terrible, disastrous, useless, okay? But I will provide a link down below if you want to check it out. Though, just to acknowledge things, the videos that are there are basically the videos you have watched on YouTube, so maybe it's pointless, but you know, it's about being efficient, it's about spreading awareness of the cases. If you're going to do an important video and put time and effort into making it, you put it onto YouTube, you might as well put the same video onto a different platform, right? Makes sense. What's the point changing it all up to, you know, do a completely different video, put even more time in about the same exact thing? It's not, it's really silly to do that. So you be efficient and you do it the correct way, which is that video on YouTube, repost, share onto Rumble, okay? I've heard of Rumble way back in the past. Never interested in it. Never excited by it, okay? But just recently, with the additional messy stuff going on with YouTube, it's like, well, let's see what Rumble is like. And to be honest, limited tools, limited customization, very limited. Very insert beep. Yeah, that's what I would say. Okay, I don't like it, but every now and then might upload the odd video. Same with TikTok. TikTok, just as bad, if not worse. This is what I mean. The biggest problem is consistency, stability. Both factors aren't in play for me. I know I'm in the right direction. I know what I'm doing. To an extent, I am in control. Yet, statistically, or if there's errors or problems going on in the background, it doesn't match up with what I'm doing, right? If you hit the nail on the head, then you know, right, keep up with it. But if it's on and off, hot and cold, that video is accepted, this video is denied, goes against guidelines, even though it doesn't. It's like, well, what do I do? What direction do I go in? If that's okay, but that isn't, but they're both the same thing, then what am I supposed to do? It's like, with the item, that one. If that led to every single video being limited, restricted because of that, then I know, right, I can't use that item anymore in videos because of it. But that's not the case. So it's like, you don't know what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's not, what works, what doesn't, because it's very hit and miss. Like, let me just say something very random, but it kind of ties in with the inconsistency. On TikTok, I uploaded a gameplay clip, okay? Rainbow Six Siege Tom Clancy. I uploaded that same video onto YouTube. Do you know how many views I got? Everyone in the chat right now, guess. Guess how many views I got on a very short gameplay clip. It's not, like, in terms of the quality of the video, it's not Oscar-winning performance. It's not, wow, the best, the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but it isn't bad either. And it's better than average in terms of the gameplay. Just put a number in the chat and be somewhat realistic, okay? In terms of how many views you think I got on the video, just in general, okay? I'll just pretend I'm waiting around for the numbers to roll in the chat. As we do go along in this video, although I should have said it earlier on, be sure to share your thoughts, opinions, and reactions in the live chat. Use this video as an opportunity, a time to listen on in if you want to, about Dylan Rounds and the anniversary, but also, and maybe more so later on in this video, to just simply talk and mess about a little, catfights, whatever, okay? So, whatever numbers people have entered in, so the amount of views I got on that short gameplay clip on YouTube, it was about 3,400 to 4,000 views. Round it up, I got about 4,000 views on that video, okay? I uploaded the same exact video onto TikTok, and a day or two later, when I looked, in total, over a couple of days, it got 294,000 views. Take in mind, my TikTok account is nowhere near the numbers in followers, subscribers as my YouTube account. My YouTube account is obviously more established and more time, more effort has been put into it for over, 9 years, but more so actively the last 2 to 3 years. And I got 4,000 views on a gameplay clip. Then on TikTok, which I don't have many followers, I uploaded that gameplay clip randomly. 294,000 people have watched it. Do you see the inconsistency? Same exact video, no changes made. I upload it on one platform, I get that amount of views. I upload it on a different platform, I get this massive amount of views. More internally, previously, I uploaded a short gameplay video to YouTube. It got about 26 views. Terrible, right? 26 views. I re-uploaded it another day, the day later, at an earlier time in the day. It got about 1,200 views. Do you understand how hit and miss it is? Same exact video, re-uploaded on the same exact platform, just on a different day at a different time, and it got, I don't know, many more times views. First day 26, re-upload the next day 1,200. It's hit and miss, stability lacking, inconsistency. It's problematic, right? Not good, but not much I can do. Though, when it comes to mysteries, cases, I guess true crime, there is a level of consistency for sure, right? Like statistically speaking, and just even visually, when you look at the people watching, people that have been around for so long, you know, which is good of them, people watching right now, and even those watching right now who are in the background just simply watching and listening in, who've been around for quite some time. That's consistency. That's a level of stability. Sure, you can't expect all those people to remain 24/7. That's perfectly fine. But for the amount of time they have been around for, that needs to be acknowledged. Okay, so I appreciate the people watching or have watched for quite some time, including the ones still present right now. Okay, that's a level of consistency. That shows that you're doing something right, or you're covering the right stuff, which gauges their interest. It does feel more like a classroom discussion, this, at the moment, but there's no other way of explaining it, okay? So you get an idea of what to do. Though, what has plagued the theme, the topic, is the YouTube dodgy, judgmental guidelines and the soy boy human reviewers out there that get triggered by anything and assume it's bad when it's not. That's thrown the spanner in the works, as Indiana would say. As Americans, it's thrown a wrench or a screwdriver in the gears, so it's kind of caused it to come to a halt. What happens next? What's right? What's wrong? What can be done to fix it and what can't, right? That's a little bit murky, the waters right now. A time like this, we need Kathy Waters back. We need the pet talking parrot back, right? Maybe Kathy Waters' parrot can do what Harry Potter's owl does and transfers a little note all the way to YouTube headquarters. And the note can read, YouTube, you've been very naughty. The whip is around the corner. I think what we need to acknowledge as well, and I was going to do it in a standalone video, okay? I probably still can, if I do remember, is at the end of the day, blessings can only get you so far, but dodginess can cover the full stretch, okay? Dodginess and exposing has fixed people's lives. Dodginess and exposing has reduced US divorce rates by 50%. Isn't that right, Dale? Exactly, yeah? levels of dodginess. My whip ceremonies and blessings have led to a 25% increase in lawn mowers being repaired in the entire population of the US. A 25% increase. Even Watcher of Crazy, who is some kind of data analysis, has, almost dropped her glasses in shock. All those spreadsheets she's been looking at have been thrown out the window because of this new revelation, okay? So Watcher of Crazy will be very busy. There'll be many meetings in the boardroom to be doing all these flow charts, little bar charts, multicolored, because I know you like that, and pie charts. No cream pies, Betty Haywood. This is all about statistics and numbers, and the numbers don't lie. There's no cream pies today, Betty. Go back to your Black Bear restaurant. They'll be serving them there right now, okay? As long as Watcher of Crazy does not fall out of a car, then the numbers should not drop, okay? And to be honest, the way I think about it, in terms of the financial crisis, like what Wall Street collapse probably fell as hard as Miss T did just recently when she fell on the floor. We're seeing a lot of changes, right? But I think at the end of the day, Girl Ryan has been fixed because of my dodginess. Now her playlists are private. She didn't know they were public, but I fixed that. There you go. Bless Tyler, bless me. Bless Warlike Ref for fixing Girl Ryan. Bless Watcher Crazy, bless me for lawnmowers sales increasing and the lifespan of them improving. Matt Lingo, you thought Senor Benjamin with the taser had to get the garden done. Nope, the lawnmower was able to get the job done. So Senor Benjamin can go in his dilapidated boat and go into the lake of youth and go into a transformation, okay? Many people won't know what that reference is, but I'm sure Matt Lingo will have an idea, providing he is watching right now. Also, shout out to Matt Lingo, Matt ECW Lingo, TLC Master, and I think he's got a guitar as well, so he can play a few tunes, and I'm sure Katie, need to improve that Valley Girl voice there. Katie can approve of it and clap her hands just in pure excitement. But yeah, Matt Lingo, new member on the channel. That's very good of him. Shout out to, who else was it? I'm just moving my arms about because I've got neck and backache. Shout out to the people last night as well for the super chats. Very good of people, but also very helpful too, and very supportive. So got to acknowledge that 100%, especially during this dodgy time with YouTube. Very dodgy. But as I said, we can explain a bit more later. If you have suddenly joined in and don't know what's going on, don't worry, I can bring it up again later, right? But with those loose bits out the way, I think we can move on to the Dylan Rounds discussion, okay? We'll look at the comments from last night, first of all, and then go on the Facebook page with what Candice Cooley has said, okay? Right, I'll just adjust it to the newest. We'll start from the bottom, work our way up. You wonder why we're looking at this. We're just seeing what the comments are from the previous video because it was related to Dylan Rounds. If there's any questions that need answering, I'll try and answer them. And just additional opinions and thoughts we can get through. Linda, saying that's good. Appreciate it. KBY, don't know what KB is talking about unless he's referring to the YouTube situation, but I did explain it previous and I've explained it today. Beatrice saying, could James Brenner be a serial killer or Kurt? Because Dylan and Aiden kinda look alike. Dylan and Aiden look alike. I don't know if they do look the same. I mean, the hairstyles are different. Maybe if you put them in the same clothing and with a baseball cap on, maybe you could you know, make a better comparison. Now, how could it link to some kind of serial killer situation? Well, you know, people might not understand this, okay, when looking at Beatrice's comment, but I do understand it. And I don't know if I can use the best example on the spot, but like Ted Bundy would mostly target, and I think only target, females. That's what Ted Bundy did. Ted Bundy targeting females, I believe, with brown hair, brunettes, or either blondes, one or the other, and maybe brown eyes. Certain serial killers end up targeting a certain type of people. Could be a gender, it could be a certain age, could be certain nationality and race, it could be certain characteristic of that serial killer has something for people with black hair, dark brown hair. They might go after them and only them. Seems a bit weird, but it has happened. Could it happen here? Well, if Aidan and Dylan kind of look alike, then if there was a serial killer out there, they might target the same people because they share similar characteristics. Okay? But does Brenner, or is Brenner a serial killer? I don't know. I personally don't know. Not seen any reports from the past which would suggest that, okay? But I guess we can do a poll right now. The poll can be based off how Brenner has appeared, or at least from what people have described him as: cool, cold, arrogant, feeling invincible, not worried, not really scared, no emotion, no guilt, nothing like that. Does Brenner show personality traits of a serial killer? Yes, no, a little. Make sure to vote right now. Not really ever seen people asking these type of questions before, them. Guess in the eyes of some, like Candice Cooley, there would be no need because they feel that Brenner snapped. Just a one-off. Sure, he snapped in the past. From what we know of, when he snapped, he may have hurt someone, but not fatally. Sometimes serious, but not fatal. The Maryland incident was a wounding in the end and not fatal. So, you know, you get that pattern. You think, well, Brenner is a bit dangerous, can be a bit violent, but has he taken anyone out of this world before Dylan? If anyone does know, if anyone has an article, a link to some newspaper, news to do with Brenner murdering someone in the past, explain down below, comment section, live chat. Feel free to open up if you can, because it might add more depth to this case mystery, right? What was the response then? Norse saying Kurt Wadsworth is cleared, FFS. I would read that out, but I can imagine YouTube telling me off. But you know what that means, FFS, okay? Kurt Wadsworth, yeah, he's never really been, what to say? The spotlight has been on him by the general public, right? Questioning and referring back, but never really by the authorities. You could say that's a positive, that it must mean that Kurt is innocent. Unless some people out there may feel that there is a certain layer and depth which has not been covered, touched yet. Until then, not much will happen. If there's no leads pointing to Kurt Wadsworth, then he's innocent, I guess, right? Just from wording it like that. I mean, I think we've done polls previously saying Is there a possibility that down the line there might be evidence which points to somebody else? And people did vote yes at the time. I don't know if people's thoughts have changed ever since, but if they have, you can leave additional comments down below in the comment section. I'm aware you can't always say what you want or feel in the chat because you're limited to the characters, numbers, but you can always leave a much, much longer comment message in the comment section of this video, okay? Indiana has proven it time and time again with her very long messages. Same with the Shack Lady. If they can do it, so can you. Okay? Let's move on. We got that individual. We got Doom. Shout out to Doom, new viewer from the looks of it. I saw some new people showing up last night. You had IDA, their username, Ida. You had Kim. You had some other people. I can't remember all the usernames, but there was a new wave of people. And also, just to briefly acknowledge, okay, at times, here and there, shout out to Betty Hayward, Inky at one point, shout out to Girl Ryan, Miss T, of course, maybe Bella V, Watch of Crazy, I think, if they have reshared the odd post or video which I've made onto their channel. That's obviously very good of them. So I just wanted to point that out right now before I forget, okay? So yeah, range of new people coming on in, which is good. I know in a way for regular viewers and people that have been around for some time, the slight disruption to newer names coming on in, it might be a bit awkward at first or just a bit disruptive, but it does iron out down the line as shown in recent time, okay? So just treat it as like a bit of turbulence, okay? But then eventually it gets a bit better. What does Doom say though? Doom says, would offer him death penalty, Brenner, if he doesn't want to talk about where he not even think about were heart of Dylan Rounds, bring him home to family upset. We not even know where my sons are. What do they want to were he's mess up. God bless with family and love member of Dylan Rounds as he lose his life. Amen to the family prayer for you and your family too. So I think Doom is saying that they went through the same experience but didn't locate their son, I think. Doom also saying that death penalty within the Dylan Rounds case should be put on Brenner if Brenner isn't going to talk. Maybe the death penalty will get him to talk. Whilst that could be a slight possibility, Doom, unfortunately, the way it's gone from the court hearing 24th of April 2023, death penalty has been taken off the table. So Brenner won't get the death penalty. So maybe he is in a more comfortable situation now than what he could have been in. So maybe less likely to talk from now on. And the only reason why I say less likely from now on is because when the opportunity was around at the time, Candice Cooley, Justin Rounds, rejected the plea deal offer in which Brenner was willing to open up as to the location of where Dylan remains are. So maybe if the family turned him down then, Brenner feels rejected and maybe disrespected. You get what I'm saying? And when, down the line, you reach out and say, I'm ready. Brenner's like, you turned me down from the beginning. I'm not going to allow that. I'm not going to be disrespected. Brenner could be considered a bit touchy and sensitive. That's why he snaps at the odd disagreement or how he's spoken to. As we've seen in the past, Justin Rounds triggered Brenner, in which Brenner threatened to kill Justin Rounds, Dylan's father. That was just because Brenner didn't like the way Justin spoke to him at the time. So, bit of a loose wire or loose marble, loose Mabel, have you word it. Move on. Skeptical by Nature saying, usually not in the chat. I enjoyed my time today. Lots of interesting comments and shared information. No doubt Candice Cooley was caught off guard, but the viewers' post regarding seeing them and the sheriff an hour prior at the pond on the 21st. Is there something to it? Time will tell, as always. So it's good that Skeptical was able to enjoy the chat last night and maintain a level of focus. Obviously, Skeptical has said doesn't quite understand the dodgy stuff in between. The only way I can respond to that, skeptical by nature, is the whip, the odd bit of dodgy stuff in between, is done for one of two reasons. One, it can help reduce any resistance or disruption because it confuses those people. They're not expecting it. And for others, it scares them off, or they think, ew, I don't like that, and then they go. So it gets rid of negativity whilst being dodgy, okay? The second reason to why it's done is because supposedly it has helped people here and there. I don't know so much about the whip, but at least the odd bit of dodginess in the past, the odd person who was on the verge of committing suicide did reach out and said the videos helped them. The odd few people have said that. So, you know, if there's if it works out in a way, then there's no need to change it. Does that make sense? So, two reasons there, and they seem to work up to now. And as well, overall, a little bit different, whereas you can go heavy and deep into cases like this with all the information. You can also get headaches, you get confused, you might get a bit frustrated if things switch and change. So if you can change things up every now and then and also be light-hearted in bad cases like this, it can help overall, right? In terms of when you return back to the case, you're more focused, you're refreshed. So many different positives that can come out of being dodgy, right? But you might not think of it firsthand, but subconsciously it will help. Was there anything else to say here? Yeah, 21st of May. It's just good that that Montello local pointed it out about that post, because never would have thought of clicking on it with it being 8 months old. And yet, even now, Dylan's anniversary, things being quiet, we would have never have heard of the 21st of May, right? And although Candice Cooley saying back when they were out there, just a bit before the anniversary, it had nothing to do with the anniversary. Okay, maybe it didn't, but it must have had something to do with Dylan for the family to be out there in that area, right? And with it being so quiet, will it ever be mentioned about the trip down there? I don't know. I mean, because shortly afterwards, Candice Cooley followed up with that response from last night's video about they've been continuously out there searching. A tiny contradiction to what was said prior, but it's not the first time we've had inaccuracies. Move on. Skeptical by nature. Well, like Ref, what can your community do to help with the YouTube issues? Anything, let us know. So as for the YouTube issues, I don't think any of the supporters on the channel or viewers on the channel can really do anything. It's all down to me, because it's like a one-on-one conversations with YouTube and resolving it like that. Still lacking that certainty, as said. Robert says chromosomes. Yeah, I think Dale's got a few missing here and there. I'm sure they can be replaced. XY, YZ, something like that. I'm sure we can get the chemical formula right, just like the chemical formula cream that Betty Haywood used when she wakes up in the morning. What was the responses? From unexpected others. Relatives per DNA. Relatively inbreeding generations of mixing the pool gene. Oh. What? Is that to do with the Dylan Rounds case? The locals or something? Expand if necessary. Rochelle, long-time viewer, popping in again, saying the traffic stop was a year before Dylan even disappeared and the fine was paid. These people need to stop. Rochelle is talking about JT with that recent Dylan Rounds footage, which a portion of it was released last night on his channel on Rumble, right? The main part about Dylan was teased, drip feeding, okay? There are strategies around that, and I do understand. I can acknowledge it later on in this video, and I'll show you my thoughts, but not overall because we haven't seen all the footage, right? But yeah, others said that this incident, this traffic stop with the police, Dylan Rounds, JD, his friend, and some of the guys in the truck, which was Dylan Rounds' truck, the Ford F-150 burgundy reddish colour truck, the same one that was involved in Dylan's disappearance at the farm, supposedly being pressure washed, power washed, and maybe used to drive through the wash to dispose of Dylan. That vehicle we're talking about was the one back in 2021 with this footage Jim Terry has provided. Dylan was driving at the time, okay? So that happened in 2021. Yes, a while ago. Does it link to Dylan's disappearance? Absolutely not. On the surface level, at least. Got no link to Dylan's disappearance. They say that the fine was paid. I didn't look too deep into it, but if the fine was paid, it's like, oh well, I guess you move on. You could question, did Candice Cooley know about this? And you could say, does it really matter? Well, if Dylan lied or never told Candice, you could say, what other secrets does Dylan have? You know, if you're going down that route. But I guess we're just gentle on that for now because we don't want to get too deep. What else do we have here? Norse saying it took Jim Terry a year to find Dylan's traffic ticket, not much of a private investigator. Cough, cough, I'm kind of dry over here. I may need a Cash App for more information. Oh my God, Rochelle, you're implementing a Cash App. You're going to implement it and advertise it on my channel. Oh my God, what about Walleye Graph's PayPal? What about the poor PayPal of Walleye Graph? Oh my God, that needs to be acknowledged. Sorry about that. Looks like Valley Girl has come calling. Norse, your emojis. Yeah, what is it with the scooter? Scooter Hooter. Oh, Betty Hayward with the owls. Yeah. Let's move on. I think next time, if I can't say certain words because of YouTube, I should say the word hoot, the owl. Hoot, hoo, hoo. I don't give a hoot. Yeah, I think that's probably more fun, to be honest. Be a bit more creative there. Christy missed the premiere, watching now. Now, obviously, people could get the whips out, but it's not necessary. Christy was dealing with some cat stuff. So silly that. Christy was occupied, busy with important stuff going on in the background. Okay, so no whips needed. It's explained. Bandit Network TV. I don't know who this person is, but they have showed up recently. I don't know if it's got someone to do with a black beard and long hair, unless I'm... Oh, no. I think I'm getting mixed up with Outlaw TV. Is Outlaw TV different to Bandit Network TV? Anyone explain? Because, to be honest, there's all these people with beards left, right, and centre, and I thought it was all the same person. Turns out it wasn't. I thought Ron Tello was all over the place. I thought I was getting double vision or something. But no, separate individuals. My God, Ron. Ron Tello, you can do your weird symbol sign with your fingers pointing up to the ceiling. But I think if you put the red dress on, it'll be easier to associate who is who in the matter. Okay, Ron? Can you take that into mind? I'm sure if you wear that red dress, you might actually help Weezer's red gushing tomatoes grow better, right? Maybe you give a little dance for them. They might give a round of applause as well with their little leaves smacking on their sides. Yeah. Bandit says, in my opinion, he's releasing the alleged video to spite the Rounds and Cooley family. It's not going to do anything to help find Dylan. So that Bandit believes that what Jim Terry has done recently is kind of pointless and more petty towards the family because of the falling out. Okay. Norse saying it's why he was terminated from YouTube. Okay, some say that, others say he was mass reported in an unfair way. It seems to be mixed, right? Jacqueline saying no damage was done during previous searches by public. Jacqueline also saying Candice only tells us things she wants us to know. The blood and the backhoe was lost. I remember someone here saying that. Right. Norse says, so? Candice tells us things she wants us to know. Right, so the backhoe with blood on, how and why was it lost? Was it lost because the backhoe was cleaned down? Or was it because it rained and washed the blood away? Can anyone explain? If you can explain, leave a comment in the chat. It'll be appreciated. Just trying to make sense of it, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me, though, because you think about it, there's been a number of items, bits of evidence, which has faded away or become invalid, been forgotten about, been handled poorly, not responsive enough to get a hold of it. Yeah, okay, I can understand it. But why did Candice Cooley never talk about it then? Okay then, if this backhoe blood was never processed as evidence because it was left too late, then why was that not a reason for Candice Cooley to call the police out on yet another mishap? You know, Candice Cooley has already called out the LE for handling Dylan's boots, for delaying them being sent to the lab and lying about it when they said they went, but they didn't. They went a bit later. Candice Cooley also calling out LE for allowing them to be able to drive Dylan's vehicle despite losing all that data. Candice Cooley in the early days, which was never talked about ever again, about calling the LE out for not responsive enough to take Brenner in quicker and question, but also take Brenner's phone before the 7-day period of the data being erased, which we never heard from ever again. Maybe they did get a hold of it, but at least from what Candice Cooley said, they didn't. Candice Cooley saying there's been evidence out there which has been lost, that the track marks didn't act upon quick enough to be able to do a casting and mould to get a good print of it. You know, where you pour that stuff in and it hardens and you pull it out and then you see the markings on it. Well, they were too slow to do it, and with time, it wasn't successful, it wasn't doable. So, you get my idea. In the past, Candice Cooley was very vocal when it came to calling out certain authorities for not doing the right stuff or not treating the case with care, with a level of seriousness. So you take that into mind, then why did Candice Cooley never bring up the backhoe and it being lost, the evidence? Because that seems like very important evidence, right? And for it to be lost like that, I'm surprised Candice Cooley never spoke about it openly. I think, though, if anyone was able to reach out to Candice Cooley, or if you're in another live stream when Candice Cooley is present during an interview, maybe ask the question, Candice Cooley, do you know about the backhoe with blood on it which was lost, the evidence? Tell us your thoughts. Something like that, okay? What else? Jacqueline saying, it's suspicious to remove bags of rubbish whilst police and people were at the grain shed, but maybe he had nothing important to the case in the bags. If it were me and I did it to someone, I'd get rid of any evidence as soon as possible whilst nobody is around. This is what I mean. Jacqueline is on a mission here. She knows exactly what she's doing. Scrap that. Okay. But Jacqueline does say, We've never heard from the grandparents of Dylan, yet they brought him up from a young age when Justin and Cooley divorced. Okay. They would likely know more about Dylan. Such a shame they don't speak now and again. I think they brought up both boys. Norse code says wrong. Well, Norse code, feel free to respond back and set the record straight if you're able to. No harm in doing that. But the thing is, yeah, we haven't heard from the grandparents at all. Correct me if I'm wrong, I've never heard from them. I don't even know what they look like. But from what Candice Cooley did say, is that the Dylan Rounds documentary, this whole documentary, the grandparents do appear in the interviews and they do talk openly about Dylan Rounds' case. Though, I don't know when that documentary is coming, if it has already come out. It's gone very quiet about that. Candice Cooley hasn't talked about it either ever since. So, bit weird, bit odd, but, you know. Jacqueline also says, have you thought perhaps the shack lady had a meltdown because some jerk was giving her one hell of a hard time? It happens. Can't read print no more. Eyes are tired and difficult to focus. I'll listen from here and book Specsavers for next week as you were, Ref. No, don't worry, Jacqueline. You don't need to go to Specsavers. Call round to Watcher of Crazy's house. Make sure there's no spiders so you don't get run over by her movable car. And she'll hand you some glasses. Because from what I heard, when Watcher of Crazy ejected herself out of her own vehicle, although she got run over by the tyre, she took one for the team and had track marks on her, tattooed, imprinted on her body forever. Her glasses remained glued on. And how many people can say that their glasses remained glued on despite jumping out of a moving vehicle? Not many people can claim that, but Watcher of Crazy can. Well done, Watcher of Crazy. Well done, Watcher of Glasses. That's where it should be now. So, Jacqueline, get Watcher of Crazy to hand some glasses over to you, okay? You never know, Jacqueline. Depending what glasses Watcher of Crazy has, if she's a data analysis, she's probably got Google glasses with the little hologram features and all the weird like things on the screen of the lenses, like Iron Man. And I wouldn't be surprised if Watcher of Crazy has those Google glasses to take little secret snapshots of my chest area too. My God. You're going to be analysing them, Watcher. You're going to be analysing the circumference and the radius of it, huh? Yeah, you're going to be doing a team meeting exercise too. You're very busy, Watcher. What else do we have? Jacqueline, it might show the other two in the vehicle with Dylan and JD. I don't think it would harm this case. Okay, that's responding back to the Jim Terry footage. So, just a short story. From the looks of it, the footage appears to be dash cam footage inside of the cop car pointing outwards towards the back of Dylan's vehicle pickup. And the microphone is attached to the police officer or sheriff, whoever you call him, that walks up to the vehicle. So you can hear the audio, and at a certain point you can see the person step out of the vehicle, which is Dylan Rounds, but the video did cut out at that point, okay? That was just me basically explaining what I explained earlier on, okay? Skeptical saying, don't understand this, don't understand YouTube, they'll be losing. Hopefully it's a passing situation. I guess time will tell. Even between whether it be on YouTube or not, because of the way YouTube is, obviously. Oh my God. Oh my. I can't even say certain words. Like, I don't know what words to say or what not to say. All I'd say is on the channel, no, I can't say it. I can't say it. It feels weird. It feels weird. Basically, in my mind, it feels weird. It feels wrong saying, and here's the PayPal link if you wish to click on it and support the channel. I can't say that outright. It feels weird. I know I said it then, but I was talking in third person. Does that make sense? Like, there'll be quite a few people on YouTube that will throw the links out like OnlyFans people do. oh yeah, I'll just throw it out here, throw it out there. I'm almost on the street corner, literally. I've got the pole implanted in me, and here are all the links to my external places if you wish to support them. No, I can't do that. It feels weird. And, interesting backstory. If anyone is wondering where the PayPal situation came from, okay? It was, I don't know how many people now, I can't really remember, but it was actually numerous people that told me that it should be implemented on the channel because they wanted to give back. So it was like, okay, if you're sure with that, then I guess it could be implemented. And that's where it stemmed from. Not from me, but from viewers suggesting it. In the past, with the channel membership, when that was first introduced, that felt really awkward because it's like first time thing doing it and you never know what the response might be like. And at first, it kind of went downhill, but I think that's just because of petty people from the Kenny Veach case community, but it turned out okay in the end. So if it can be done and implemented in such a way naturally without it being forced, full on pushed down the throat, then I guess that's fine. But I think other people out there on YouTube, but as well on other platforms, TikTok, maybe Instagram, will shove those links all over down your throat. You know what I mean? Where it's so over the top. It's a bit too much. I try not to do that. Just have it like in the background. If you want to click on it, then you can, or something like that. But that aside, what's more important to move on to now, because we've reached the end of these comments, is to go on the Facebook page and see what Candice Cooley has posted most recently in the whole talks of Dylan's anniversary. Here we are, find Dylan Rounds' Facebook page, Dylan's legacy, Dylan Rounds anniversary, 28th of May, going into the 30th of May when he was reported missing, through this weekend Dylan Rounds anniversary from back in May 2022, reflecting on it now, May 2023. Okay? We'll just see what we've got here. As I said, don't want to go through all the photos, if not any, just simply because I know it seems more personal, and it, even though it's shared public here, it just feels a bit weird going through them, okay? I had a brief look. There wasn't really any up-to-date ones, so we don't need to do any comparisons there, okay? And yeah, question around the family and all that, but at this moment in time, it's probably not necessary for a couple of minutes at least, just while we look at this, okay? Just so there's a level of balance, even if it's just for a few minutes. So, here we go. 14 hours ago by Candice Cooley. Take in mind, because of the time zone difference, I think that might play a role as to why I didn't see certain posts the previous day when I was looking. Right. Candice Cooley says, it's hard to believe as a year ago, that Dylan was out doing what he loved for the last time. As emotional as this weekend is for us to make us reflect on what Dylan accomplished and experienced before his life was so unfairly taken from him, as we reminisce throughout the weekend, I just want everyone to take a minute and smile with us on Dylan's life. Dylan travelled throughout more states, drove more models of tractors, raised more animals, including ones that some people never even see, could run any piece of equipment, bought his own farm, and on before he was 20. Most people do not get to experience or accomplish half of what he did. He was truly an amazing person. Just click more, there's a bit more to this. Sometimes we wonder, did he accomplish all of this at such a young age because he knew his time would be cut short and he is going to make sure he made a mark, and he did? Dylan would help you do anything, even though he might tell your way was wrong, he would still be there. Either way, I have pictured him all day today being in his tractor a year ago, planting and loving every minute of it, knowing he was proving so many people wrong that said he would not make it work farming in the area. I hope he realised how proud we were of him and will always be. So it looks like, yeah, family reflecting on Dylan, of course, acknowledging what he's achieved and, what he's done. I'll just analyse one bit here. Maybe it's not entirely necessary, but it just seems a bit weird how it was written, okay? Let me just re-find it. Where is it now? There you go. Where Candice says, he was truly an amazing person. Sometimes we wonder, did Dylan accomplish all of this at such a young age because he knew his time would be cut short? That feels a bit weird, that line. Candice Cooley suggesting that Dylan did all he could and make the most of life because Dylan knew he was going to be murdered. Is that a normal thing to say? I mean, you could say it's more of a spirituality theme, making the most of everything, being allowed to do this and that at a young age before the inevitable happens. But is it right to say that Dylan Rounds knew he was going to be murdered by Brenner? If that really was the case, then you could argue and say, well, why did Dylan Rounds allow it to happen then? Anyone in the chat, aside from whatever discussions are taking place in the chat right now, I want to know your thoughts on that statement. Sometimes we wonder if Dylan accomplished all that he did because he knew that his time would be cut short. So he wanted to leave an imprint on this world. Like, what I would say is, if it was to do with, if Dylan had an illness and over time, it took his life, you could say maybe the body, the mind was sensing something was wrong, so wanted to be as successful as possible before the inevitable. But saying that the inevitable of him being murdered sounds like he deserved it. I don't know, it just feels a bit weird. I can understand that because it's an emotional time, maybe not every sentence will make sense and could be taken out of context, and that could be the case right now. But if you're reading it for the first time, it just seems a bit odd, right? Anyway, we've got some photos there of Dylan Rounds. As I said, don't really want to look at them just because, YouTube sensitive and all that and personal. What are the comments like, though? We just go through them very quickly. Obviously, there's going to be a lot. If it's mainly to do with prayers, we don't really need to read them fully. I thought of you and your family today. You should definitely be proud parents of Dylan. Dylan's life cut short by this evil man, Brenner. Prayers. It's a shame Dylan's life was cut so short. Just hearing about him and seeing all the pictures of him lets me know what a wonderful young man he was. So much he had left to do. Your son will forever be in my heart. I will honour him this weekend. What's this one? Could I please get your address? I'd like to send you a flag and garden pole. Candice PM'd. Private message. Okay. Wells. Beth, he was one of a kind. He has made a huge impression on this world and his legacy lives on. His work ethic and determination to achieve the dream of his own farm is truly inspiring. Susan, beautiful child growing into a young man. Be proud. A lovely post. I'm sorry for your loss. Can't imagine the pain going through. Yesterday, today, and always, he lived a very full life of everything. Such a beautiful post. Laurie, handsome man. Family gets answers. I still hope he is alive. Wow. I mean, I think the majority consensus is that Dylan has passed away, but, interesting that some people still are hopeful. Maria, a different Maria, beautiful pictures. I've been following from day one. Your son has touched my life and is such an inspiration to many. I hope that you bring your Dylan home one day soon for a proper burial and for closure in the family. He accomplished so much. So little time he had. Cindy. More prayers. No harm in acknowledging these comments to do with Dylan Rounds because it is the anniversary, so you kind of like look back at it as a whole, and that's like what we're doing right now. Candice Cooley popping in as well. Love you to the moon and back, a bazillion times, buddy. Saying that to Dylan. More prayers. Such a smart and special individual who grew up to be a successful young man. Candice, I'm so sorry your son's life was taken. Criminal gets maximum punishment possible by law. Yeah. Okay. Did I see something there? I don't know. Megan Hanny. I don't know if Megan Hanny is Dylan's sister. I think Megan Hanny is Dylan Round's sister, but probably got married, so their last name changed. Megan saying, I miss him so much. When I would pick him up from the Crone or John Deere, he would tell me about all of his current projects and what he plans to do next. I was always in awe of how hard he worked. Okay. So everyone, sharing their thoughts. Nice tribute, prayers, hugs. Okay. Having experienced all that he had, such engaged, blessed to have been his mama. What's one? Catherine Harder. Bit of a dodgy last name. Catherine Harder. Catherine says, Dylan had a good life and great parents. He was so funny. I will always smile when I remember him, and I remember him often because down here in Texas, where I now live, sunflowers are everywhere. I can't see a sunflower and not think of Dylan. I hope he is at peace and knows people from all over the entire world knows his name and what he accomplished, and people that never even met him care about what happened to him and love him. His story is tragic for sure, but I'm sure it has also inspired some people to go after what they want and make their dreams reality, just like Dylan did. I hope his body is found soon so his family can lay him to rest, and I hope Jim Brenner is served a harsh sentence for the selfish act of taking Dylan's life. Nothing he can say in his defense will ever justify what he did. I wouldn't usually hope for death for another human, but personally I feel that's what Brenner deserves. Well, the death penalty has been taken off the table, so, that's not going to happen. Rob, great young man, truly miss him, came into the shop one Saturday morning and helped me tarp a load, no questions asked. He's an example to the world of hard work and love of what you're doing, raised by a great family. So we're actually seeing numerous people reaching out here, honouring and acknowledging Dylan Rounds and the anniversary from their own experiences when they did meet Dylan in the past in some way or another. Loved farming. Yeah, well done, Candice. You raised an exceptional son. All proud of. Even more important, his incredible talents and the fact that he is just a really nice person. You've been an exceptional mama to him, and it really shows. And I think you're probably right. He worked to do so much with his life because somehow he sensed that he wouldn't get to live a very full life unless he started early and worked double time. Ooh. I don't know, it's just a weird way of wording it like that. Kind of like the time where people were saying that the 27-second clip of Brenner cleaning the gun with blood on him from Dylan Rounds. People at the time were saying that, oh, that's the guardian angel. That was Dylan Rounds recording his own death because he knew he couldn't get out of it or escape. And people are saying here that Dylan Rounds accomplished so much from a young age because he somehow knew that he was going to get murdered down the line. Those sentences don't really sit quite well, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. What else? Thank you for sharing the memories. Special moments. Yeah. Hugs and prayers. What's this one? Okay. Sharing experiences. People reaching out. Never be forgotten. Is that it? Pat Farrell Patterson. Is that related to Bob Farrell? Or is that spelled different? I don't know. So just back there. Okay. So you saw that, acknowledging Dylan's legacy and, of course, the anniversary. Would you expect it to be louder? Yeah. Maybe not from the family immediately, but elsewhere, yeah. Unless that comes a few days later. So, yeah, we've got some other posts there. Remembering Dylan. Okay, a little collage. Okay, so I just scrolled down then. There's a couple more photos of Dylan from way back in the past. And yeah, we've come to an older post now. So there's been a handful. Time zone difference, so there is a delay. Same with today. When it comes to Monday time, I'm sure there'll be a few more posts up here on Facebook page. If they need to be covered, there will be. But if not, then, if you want to check the Facebook page out yourself, you can do. All right. So let me know your thoughts down below to what you think of those messages and, just simply acknowledging Dylan's presence and Dylan's life. If you want to share your own stories, feel free. Your own messages, list them down below. If you do have personal experiences with Dylan Rounds in the past and you want to share it with others present right now, you can. Or just even in the comment section down below so people can read those stories over time. Because I'm sure there might be a small amount, couple individuals watching that have met Dylan Rounds in some way or another, or been in the proximity of him. And, if you want to share, you can, okay? So, yeah, Dylan Rounds' case, been a full year. I've covered the case for almost a full year. I was 1 month late to the case. First time I've been able to stick around with a relatively active case at the start and follow through all the way up to now, an anniversary. Because with Kenny Veach, covered it, I looked into it 2015. It happened in 2014, a year before. I only started making videos about it, though, 2020 at the beginning. I was late to that in a way, but I think many other people were too. Though with Dylan Rounds, probably the first proper true crime missing person case covered, documented, tried spreading awareness on, making noise about for that length of time. I said over 300 videos made on this case, most that's ever been made. What I can say now, take in mind with Kenny Veach, okay, the Kenny Veach case, a fair bit of material, quite a bit of hiking footage, and, went on for 2 years. In the span of 2 years, I created, 254 videos on the Kenny Veach case. In the span of just under 1 year, I've uploaded over 300 videos on the Dylan Rounds case. 300 videos in under a year compared to 254 videos in a space of 2 years with Kenny Veach. So you see the level of consistency stepping on up and focus, right? There'll be other background reasons as to why one was able to focus more. Briefly touch upon it since, what was it now? Was it June or July? Can't remember, June or July. It would have had to have been June, right? 1 month after, yeah, when I came in. So around June, illness in family, not physical, something else, dragged on for many months as a form of distraction. That's why I did that many YouTube videos, almost every single day, to distract myself from the stuff going on in the background. Has it got better now? Yes, but it lasted for quite some time and it was messy. But somehow I was able to maintain focus throughout all of that, okay? Maybe it's because it coincided with trying to improve, you know, like the YouTube element, but also raising awareness of the Dylan Rounds case, the seriousness of it and the importance, as well as the responsibility of focusing to get out information, to clear things up and just to keep the case alive. I don't know, maybe people would do different things as a distraction, but I guess because of the level of seriousness and importance around the Dylan Rounds case, it kind of distracted you. Well, not you, distracted me in a sense that I had to perform, I had to be accurate, I couldn't make mistakes, I couldn't mess up, because if I did, it wouldn't look good and it would harm the case, as what other people have done. So with all the stuff in the background, but also focusing on the case, doable. And ever since, whilst things have improved and basically have got better completely, I'm in such a cycle. We're doing videos for so long now, it's just a normal thing to do now. But arguably, it's not a normal thing to do for this long and this consistent, but in defense of the Dylan Rounds case, there's been so much to talk about. So yeah. As for breaks, if you put aside Christmas, because I was still actively thinking about it round about then, I've not had a break. I've not had, do you know the days when I've not been able to upload a video? I was still working on a video. I was still uploading it, I was still editing it, but I wasn't able to publish it public because of technology, internet, YouTube, right? So I was always actively working, even when a video wasn't up. I might have been thinking, or I was actually making one. I've not had a break, a single day in over 1 year. That's how locked on I've been every single day for almost 1 year. Will I continue it as best as I can? Yeah, because just used to doing it, right? And there are still things to point out. Obviously breaks are necessary, but if one is so focused, then you just do what you do, because I think it has helped the case to try and keep it alive for this long, considering most of the popular people have moved on. So you like drop the anchor down and you focus, you lock on. That's what I said from day one. The moment I come in, I said, I don't know if I said it in the video, but I definitely said internally that I will be the last person standing covering the case, at least on YouTube, and I will be the one to bring a form of control. I will be the one to clear up parts of the mess and try and understand it. I will be the one that will get to the point where I can get the right contacts in at the right time without all the other messy disruption, and it will be done naturally. And it won't be me cherry picking people, it'll be people reaching out the other way because they feel comfortable to share a story. That's exactly what happened. What I exactly imagined in my mind, both applying to drama and channels fading away. Everything in my mind when I first came into this case has happened, and everything that I have said internally has happened. Okay, that's a level of focus. Okay. And as well with Kenny Veach case, M-Cave experience there, it does help foreshadow what can happen, the life cycle and lifespan of channels and drama and conflict and stamina, the lot, okay? There's a lot to it. So yeah, Dylan Round's anniversary happened yesterday, continues over till today, and I guess even Monday as well, 30th of May, because it's the day Dylan was reported missing. So yeah, over this span, this course of time, what happens next, I'm not quite sure. You'd expect some coverage, maybe when the family have regrouped themselves, done their time reflecting and, you know, showing emotions and expressing themselves. Maybe they will do an interview somewhere, at least, possibly on East Idaho News first. The only thing I did get right was there would be some kind of coverage on the Find Dylan Round's Facebook page to start off with. That has happened. That prediction by me back then came true. The prediction about the news articles and journals posting about it, sharing the story, hasn't happened yet, still pending. But we will see what happens next, okay? What I just want to briefly share my thoughts on is the Jim Terry situation with the video clip, okay, of Dylan. I don't know if to include the word in the title, because I feel like saying Jim Terry in the title is a cursed sentence because the video's previous with YouTube, as you know. And what was funny, I reached out to one of the persons and I said, I've noticed a weird pattern that when I talk about people that have had their channels taken down, that I get punished for it as well, for not following guidelines, which doesn't make sense. And they were like, oh, that's very interesting. Considering people don't like conspiracies, considering YouTube aren't always, you know, friendly about them, but these people in the background working for YouTube or wherever, Google, whatever, we're like, oh, we're interested in what you're saying, Raf. Talk about the Matrix going the other way around, inside out Matrix, okay? Christy B, I wouldn't be surprised if I wear those tops in the background, inside out, it will reveal a whole new shade of me. Oh my. Anyway, with the Jim Terry situation, it's kind of worked out how I anticipated. Jim Terry said 15 minutes worth will be shown on this date, and then the next day, whenever that is, more will come. And I think that was the Tuesday, wasn't it? Sunday today, that live stream by Jim Terry was early hours of this morning, so kind of Saturday night. So really, when people in the chat last night said, oh no, that video footage of Dylan Rounds and the whole theme of it, which Jim Terry has, will be shown on Tuesday and not any time in between, so it doesn't overshadow, it doesn't disrespect Dylan's anniversary. But some of the footage was played last night on Dylan's anniversary. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, it wasn't directly to do with Dylan. They paused it once Dylan got out of the truck, okay? And said the rest will be played on another day. Okay. I think Jim Terry said tonight, sometime, he'll be on Crime Time with Jess and Bob Farrell's channel to show some more footage. And then the rest will be on Tuesday, upcoming. So when people said Jim Terry wasn't going to post over Dylan's anniversary, Jim Terry did. Let's acknowledge that he did. And in terms of how it's been shown to the public, it's drip fed. If people do show resistance, then, well, it is what it is. I know what drip feeding information is. I spent over 2 years within the Kenny Veach case and people coming on in with supposed information and dropping it like breadcrumbs every now and then. Why? Either to play a game or to gauge people's interest. And it's probably the latter option what Jim Terry has chosen. People may well show resistance right now, but before you snap at me, I will explain, and then you will understand, okay? Or at least, hopefully, you get an idea. So, whether it be advertising, a simple title, thumbnail, short little trailer, that's what Jim Terry has done, and maybe Mr. X as well. It raises excitement, expectation, it's to hype things up. Does it always deliver? I don't know. Maybe sometimes it's fallen flat, but other times it has delivered, and people, supporters of Jim Terry, have been satisfied, if not beyond, right? In this case, has Jim Terry delivered? He said he had footage to do with Dylan. He does. Did he show it? A portion of it, yes. Around 15 minutes, as he intended, yes. And then the rest will follow. Okay. But the day before that, in a title, it was worded something like Dylan Round's footage revealed. And technically, it was. Okay, I can acknowledge that. I know what's going on. It did. It was revealed. But only 10 seconds. Technically, you could argue clickbait. But realistically, it's not. Because footage was shown. In the title, though, it wasn't explained as to how much of the footage was shown. So it's not clickbait. But you could say it was underwhelming. Some people did say that. But maybe the following day, which was yesterday, it ironed things out. 15 minutes worth of footage and then the rest later. You're getting the full thing. But it's in stages, right? It's not just in one big go. Kind of like the interviews with Chase Venstra, the member-only paywall locked behind videos at the time on YouTube, which you could only hear about if you paid for the information. Maybe you could put a point across and argue and say it should be of public information, but it wasn't. What was talked about in those Chase Venstra interviews? No clue. Did it lead to anything? No. Did it lead to Dylan Rounds being found? No. Just being honest, okay? Might have been a bit of name calling and shifting the focus and blame elsewhere onto other suspects, but I don't know what was talked about because it's not there. And it's definitely not there right now because Jim Terry's channel has been suspended or terminated, whichever, right? So if anyone wants to share what they know of, feel free to do so if you want and if you are able to, of course. But yeah, referring back to this footage of Dylan Rounds and that 2021 being pulled over by the police. Releasing it every now and then. Here's a bit of footage, quick teaser. Here's the 15 minutes, bit more, 30-second more clip later, and then the full lot after. It's like the starter, main course, dessert, and maybe other things in between. And it's a strategy. I can acknowledge that. Is it a successful one? Statistically, yes. Basically, Jim Terry drip feeding. So when people get a taste of it, a little taste, they come back wanting more. Their hunger, their appetite grows. So Jim Terry does know what he's doing. But my question is to the viewers. Are you aware? If you are aware, fine. If you're not aware, oh well, not the end of the world. But as a method, I can acknowledge it because I've seen patterns of human behaviour over time for over 9+ years. So I do know what I'm talking about to an extent, okay? Especially with YouTube, with how people have behaved on there. and how information has been distributed over time, Dylan rounds or not, other cases too. Got an idea how things work out. So, do I ultimately feel that this video, especially when it's fully released in its full glory, is it going to lead to Dylan rounds being found? No. Not at all. Just my opinion, okay? But I do feel that it's not going to lead to Dylan rounds being found, okay? We'll do a poll right now. Do you feel that the footage which Jim Terry has will lead to Dylan rounds being found and the case being solved? Yes, no. Maybe, a maybe, possibly. We'll see. Make sure to vote right now. It'll be very interesting to see. You could say some people might be so delusional that they would say, yes, it will help. But then people that can think for themselves whilst also supporting Jim Terry may say, it reveals a different side behind Dylan rounds or JD that could lead on to further questioning, but it doesn't lead to the location of Dylan's remains because this footage is from a year ago. 1 year before he went missing, so there's not much of a correlation there. What I would say is, and I'll say it once again, depending on the attitude and behaviour of Dylan rounds in that footage, it could make you think, certain behaviour, certain attitude by him, is that what triggered Brenner into Brenner killing Dylan down the line? Something like that, okay? So, with that being said, it's now time to put that aside, Dylan rounds, right now, and moving on to something else. Okay? Just want to make that clear so the transition is understandable. Okay? If you have suddenly joined and you want to hear more about Dylan rounds, the anniversary, and so on, make sure to rewind back to the start of this video right now. For everyone else, it's now time to move on, okay? Right, here we are back on this game. Some of you will be familiar with. Just play a couple of matches. I'm doing this just because, why not? The way YouTube's going, why not? And also, just as important, if not more, it does allow the space and time for people to reflect on Dylan rounds in the background. Make use of the live chat right now, treat it as a chat room and continue your discussions, share your opinions and talk about other things in between. I think Indiana suggested like an all-nighter live stream or some kind of live video premiere, but longer. We'll just see how this video goes and how it goes with YouTube, of course. Maybe this one will satisfy enough people. If it does work out okay, then maybe I can do a longer video another day, but maybe it will be a little bit different. Depends what's being talked about, okay? So, just randomly start a game. Hopefully the audio isn't as bad this time, okay? I think it was a bit too noisy last time, okay? Just turned it down a little bit. Little goblins out, little gobbly. Naughty, naughty. Already uses arrows. Overpower that. Use the remainder there to send whatever in. Is that screaming in the background? It's hard to take it serious in a way. You can send these little gobblies in. Knobbly gobblies. He's going to charge. Stop that. Okay, fair enough. He eliminated it all. Bit problematic. We'll put the witch. Come on. There we go. If I put my skeletons down now, he could deploy the arrows. Oh yeah. Okay, maybe I enjoyed that a bit too much, but that was done very well there. The placement of that was perfect. Destroy that. Perfect. There you go. Fire breathing dragon. Who do I don't know if to just put those little people there. Right. He's screaming like Weezer has jumped out the car. Calm down. There we go. We've suppressed that. Oh my god, they're screaming. It's too much, man. Okay, that didn't really work. So I've got to try and keep focus on the left-hand side, I believe. Oh wow, he is going hard, isn't he? He's really trying. Not giving up. Ooh, this is a little bit messy, isn't it? Don't send in the barrel. Hold the fort. Hold it down. Quick. 3, 2, 1. Quickly. There we go. There we go. I can't remember if I need to use an emote. I don't like using emotes in this game because it's a bit... it's kind of like disrespectful. But sometimes you've got to use an emote to complete a challenge. So we won that game. That was okay. Contained it. The skeleton army definitely does come handy at times. What arena are we on to? Oh, not quite. That is a shame. We'll try one more. Obviously, you level up your characters, it does get easier, but first of all, you have to try and get a hold of those characters, right? Ooh, this could be a bit messy. Okay, might have messed that up slightly. My bad. Okay. I'll take that. Is it within the arrow range? No, it isn't. Oh, shame. You see that? He's got a level 10 dragon and I've only got a level 8. So he's going to do more damage to me, which is unfortunate. Come on, little skeleton guys. Come on. Come on. Ugh. Okay, I'll take that. Could be worse. Fair enough, he's going to use that, isn't he? Oh well, just charge in. There's no harm. There's no harm. We might as well. Divert attention there. Divert attention here. I think that little diversion in does help quite a bit. Want to use the goblin barrel? No. Bit risky. Go on, jab away, jab, jab. Not quite. Unfortunate. Where's the skeleton army at? Skeleton army, I need you. There. That's my boy. Why not put the barrel there just to confuse people? Well played. Obviously, they're really trying now. Please. Please. Tyler. Tyler. Yeah. There we go. So, look, like, this is the thing. I didn't push too much to try and take out the other tower, because if I tried taking out the other tower, what probably would have happened is I would have diverted focus elsewhere. So what does that mean for me? Do I get some new goodies? So I am currently beating people who have got higher level cards than I have. So considering that, I'm doing pretty well. We got the giant skeleton. Okay. Pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. Because when he does die, then he drops that. Yeah. I guess any problem is he attacks units around him. He doesn't move onto the towers, which is a bit of a problem. What's his health like? 3,424. Is that at a level? Oh, that's level 11. Max level. Okay. Ice Golem. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Only 2 elixir. That's really cost efficient, that. Oh god, his health is terrible. But, to be honest, he's only 2 elixir. That's pretty good. Oh, he's going in the wrong direction. Wow, that's actually unique. Wow. Oh, so Ice Golem only goes for buildings, but he can also be used as a distraction to pull the enemy away from one of your towers, which may be significantly weaker than the other one. That's very smart play, that, if you do it correct. Speed, slow, yeah. Hit points. Okay, is that max level? I assume it is. Only a rare. Wow. Damn. What else do we have here? Oh, we've got the freeze. That would be very, very, very helpful. And you know what? In the clan wars as well, if you can freeze towers as well as enemies around you, you can carry on attacking, but they can't. So that is so good, that. Though it does cost quite a bit to use, so you can't just throw it about. Lightning? Nah. 6. That's 6 elixir, and that's only 4. I wouldn't go for the 6. I'd go for the 4 for sure. Battle healer. So you'd want to be. I don't know why you'd deploy her first. Oh. Wow. That's pretty good. Now my question is, do they only heal when stationary? Okay. So they heal once they start facing an opponent. So the battle healer would work best if you deployed another unit first, like a giant. The giant walks down, and the battle healer stands behind and then heals. No, actually, no, that wouldn't work, that, because the giant is continuously moving. So the giant would move onwards, and the healer would carry on walking too without healing, up to a certain point where they stop and start fighting back, but then the healing rift isn't within the radius of the giant. So if you combine battle healer with the skeleton guy with the thing on his back, yeah, that would work so much better, that. Okay. The ice spirit. What's that like? Oh my god, it's only 1. and it freezes the person. That is so useful. And the fact that it only cost 1 elixir. Wow. Giant snowball. I mean, it doesn't cost much either, so this is actually this is really effective, these new cards that have been unlocked. I mean, what do I currently have? The Fire Spirit, the Electro Spirit. I mean, you see, it's not as good, that one. It doesn't take out the enemy, nor does it incapacitate, does it? Does it incapacitate? It does incapacitate, but not as long as the freeze. Okay, so that's really good, that. We got some royal hogs. I think they've escaped the farm. Betty Hayward, your pigs have gone on the loose. These pigs have acquired helmets. Are you aware of that, Betty? Wow. So these are all the units I currently have. The Big Boy Pecker. Yeah. I mean, I like the colour of it, the purple. Goes quite well. I think he's supposed to be like a samurai. But he costs a lot. He does. Can I create a secondary one? Which one have I been using all this time? Number 2. Number 5. Let's choose one for number 5. Not that it's going to work out well because I've not upgraded these new cards. Do we actually have any? The pigs? Maybe. What else? I mean, some of them get torn to shreds very quickly, especially with the level, the scaling of it. It's kind of unfair at times. The bats are perfect, in my opinion. The bats are so good, even at such a low level. The Hog Rider. I can actually do the impression of Hog Rider. Obviously, you look at him, you'd probably think his voice would be deep, but no, it's actually the complete opposite. It's something like, Hog Rider! Something like that. Little goblin shack. Is that the shack? Is that the shack lady's shack? The shack lady's goblin hut. Could be. Let me know your thoughts down below. The wizard, not really used him much. Could give him a try, but the cost of this team is looking a little bit rough around the edges. Use a couple of these. Use a couple of them, why not? And that one. 2.9, a little bit low, kind of lacking. There we go. I don't know if it's exactly practical, this, but we'll give it a try. 2v2. I don't want to ruin the flow with the 1v1, so that's why I'll do this. Right. Who do we deploy first? The wizard? Where's the witch, though? I don't know. Could be a bit risky, this, to be honest. Hold the log. Oh no, watch out the log. Hey, you got lucky there. Oh yeah, I forgot as well. The level doesn't matter as much here. I think that they're already maxed level. But where the pigs go? Oh my god. Right. Okay, not too bad. Put the spell on. Not bad, I guess. Look at the bats, though, pecking away. Not really cost efficient, this, though. Oh, no, he's got that guy. That's the time to be worried. Put a little fire spirit down, why not? Not looking good at the moment. Yeah, we really haven't done much. But it just goes to show what works and what doesn't. Ooh. Got me hard there. Come on, piggies. Get the pigs in. There we go, the pig army is here. Oh, maybe not, it's turned to bacon. Come on, pigs. Oh, you were so close. Little pigs. There we go, I'll zap that. Boom. 2. Oh, no. Yeah, get the goblin in quick. Just throw anyone in. Ah, he's going to get run over. Oh no. There's so much happening, I don't know what to do. Oh no. Yeah. Keep on going. Keep on going. Get the lawnmower out. Where's the lawnmower? This is chaos. Oh no. This is not looking good. Use it on this guy. Boom, boom, boom. Chain reaction. Shazam. There we go. One screaming in the background. Let's just recharge. Maybe not. Quick. I'll take that. Put that there. Put that there. Nice, nice. Oh no, the log. Oh. That's fine. Wow, look how many people are there. That's a lot. I think they've won because they've done more damage to the tower, but it's fine. Come on, pigs. No. No. Oh no. They've overrun me. What a wild match this is. This is really wacky, I'll be honest with you. Come on, pig. Come on. Come on. Oh, wow. That's a lot of people. Wow. We did lose, but it was very close. And to be honest, that was working with a terrible loadout as well. I wasn't using my better loadout there. I was experimenting, so did quite well considering. So if I put it back on this one, maybe we can try it here. Very interesting that. But the amount of things deployed there is pretty overwhelming. Okay, let's search for someone competent. What do we have? Oh no, this looks like a beginner. Never mind. Okay, naughty. What's that all about with that pig? That was weird. Ooh, using the freeze. scary. Sometimes people will say good luck and emote because they're being cocky. Trying to show off. Okay, fair enough. Contain that. So we could do okay here because this person is using the goblins, so it definitely overpowers. Who am I going to deploy next? Well, okay, you put that person there. Fair enough. No, don't go for him. Turn around, dragon. You drunk? Just wait for that to load. They're sending a kissing emoji. What the hell? Ouch. It's like passive damage. That was good, that was good. Goblin time. Oh, he's got the big boy pecker out. Uh-oh. Deploy that. Yeah. Not looking too good, to be honest. Wear that down. There we go. Goblin. Oh no, that's the Mega Man. However you say his name. Rough. Control that. Contain. Nice. There we go. That's fine. You ain't gonna do nothing, fool! Where's Miss T at? Miss T! Where's Mr. T? Why does that person keep showing that pig shaking its bottom? Random. Choke the chicken, as Bella V would say. Okay. That was a lot better, that. Yeah. One more, maybe. Yeah, just to fill the maximum for today. And then we can leave it there. Oh my... Wow, we're facing someone called Ken. Where's Barbie at? Where's Barbie? Right, okay, so this person's not messing about. They're already deploying the warriors left, right, and centre. Calm it down. Good. So we've cancelled each other out. But what's he going to do next? What's his next move? Do a bit of damage. Come on, dragon. There we go. That's exactly what I want. Arrows. Good. The bats are so good. And they've got decent health too. Okay. Put that there right now. His goblins are okay too, but there we go. We cancelled it before you could charge in. Sometimes you got to stop the people from charging in, or it'll do extra damage. So I'm willing to. How much? I don't know. Is he going to use the arrows immediately? Little try hard. Can't stand those humans that do that. The Hog Rider will come on in. Boom. I mean, he's doing it single-handedly, to be honest. There we go. Little bat attack. There we go. Maybe my unit is more to do counter-attacks, I think. Put the witch down there. Oh, wow, this is going to be a bit of a cluster. Oh, my. It's going to... Okay, didn't really do too much, that. There we go. The bats can go there. He might actually take that tower out, to be honest, if I don't act quick enough. Perfect counter. Perfect. Send a witch. Here we go. I don't think they're going to win. Can we do some more damage? We're not going to get the tower, but it doesn't matter because we won anyway. There we go. Yeah, the teammate did have a good loadout, to be honest. I'd say so. Yeah. Okay, I think we can leave it there. What do I get from the shop? Buy some candy. Get to the candy shop. What do we have down here? Okay, I don't remember seeing them. 35,000. That would have been really good to get, but I think I joined too late to even try and aim for that, so I didn't bother. Shame, but, you know, is what it is. I might even go for these. Yeah, if I've got to upgrade my characters, right? Do I have the coins, though? No, I don't. Oh, well. Have those reset? I don't think they have. So just go for 2 of them. Oh, it says infantry full. Maybe I won't do that just yet. Upgrade the skeletons, upgrade the dragon, upgrade these. I'd upgrade the witch. Is it too much to upgrade the witch? Well, the witch has been really helpful, though. 8,000. Oh, wow. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. I'll probably have to leave that for now. What about the collection? What's all about? 11. Use. Well, yeah, I'll take that into mind. Was there any chest? Oh, wow. Well, this is good timing at the end. Let's just do a countdown, 20 seconds. And see what I get. The bats. It'll take forever to level up the bats, but they're worth doing. There we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. And there we go. Get ready to open the golden chest. What do we get? Some coins. Goblin. Not much, is it? Come on. No. Do I favour the Royal Hogs? I don't know. Maybe you combine it with Hog Rider. You know, you got a fast group to charge on in, I guess, but... Okay, so I think we've come to that conclusion. Don't ask about the hair. It's got a mind of its own. But if you do have additional comments, leave down below. If you do want to hear more about Dylan and you've only just come in, rewind to the beginning to catch on up. We'll see what happens over the course of Dylan's round's anniversary and anything else in between. Time will tell. But for now, I think it's time to end the video. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And shout out to the super chats recently. Goodbye and good night for now.